I'm Megan Doss, and this is my studio, Modern Dynamic Pilates. I opened this studio because I saw some huge gaps in the fitness market that nobody was addressing. The first big one being nobody was creating anything for anybody over 35. So many fitness classes are just based on young, healthy 25 to 35-year-olds who probably are already working out. Nobody was addressing all the other people who still want to challenge, they want to move. They know that it's not going to work for them to do the same thing they did when they were 22, but they're also not ready for chair yoga with the senior citizens. So I wanted to create a space that really honored that and spoke to these people who were being completely ignored by all of the other studios. Our classes are built on a modular system that makes it really easy for busy professionals with kids, demanding jobs, parents. They don't have a lot of time. When they work out, they want to make sure that they're truly working on what they need to get out of their workout. In our classes, they're all based on specific goals. So people can pick and choose which class they need, and they can build a perfect system for themselves, that they can take a little bit of this, a little bit of this. It addresses the areas that they need to address, and they get the most out of their time knowing that they're going to get their goals met, they're going to get their needs met. Also in our classes, we focus on skill building versus just telling people what to do and making them sweat. That's not enough for these people. They need to know that they're getting better at something, they're improving, they're learning about their bodies. I have found through teaching these classes that people really truly do want to know how to move their bodies better. They don't want to just be told, work harder. They're already working hard in their lives. They want to do this smarter, and they want to make sure that they're really doing it right. So we focus on technique, we focus on skills so that people can continue to make improvements and just feel better, but also that they leave class knowing something that they didn't know when they walked in, that they know something now about how to move their body that they can apply to other areas, whether that's a recreational activity that they love to do, or just picking up their laundry and not blowing out their back, or that they're just feeling their bodies move better in their day-to-day life, that it's all applicable outside of here. That leads me to the other huge gap in the fitness industry. I feel it is ripe for disruption. They have been operating on this paradigm of fitness as a way to change your body, whether it's for weight loss or just aesthetic goals, or you've been forced into it by a doctor and now it's a punishment because you aren't in good health and you have to do this now. I want to change people's mindsets. This is about enjoying movement, learning what movement your body feels good doing. I think that this is really similar to where food was maybe 20, 30 years ago. There were cooking shows, but they were all based on like making a recipe. Then you get things like Food Network and people like Anthony Bourdain that completely disrupted that. Now, food media is something that people just enjoy and watch for entertainment and for learning purposes. People now have a greater understanding of cooking and food as something that's part of culture and heritage and enjoyment and connecting with people, and that there are skills that you can build up to become a better cook. They appreciate chefs more than they ever have, that people know more about the craft of food and making food now. I think that the fitness industry is really missing out on a big opportunity with that. You can do the same thing with movement. You could do the same thing with fitness. You can educate the public about the joys of movement, the craft of creating fitness, the skills that go into moving your body better, that everyone can learn those skills. Are you going to be a professional athlete? Maybe, maybe not. But you can also do some of that skill building that professional athletes do to make your own life better. Just like, is everyone going to be a professional chef? No, but you can really appreciate what they do and learn some helpful hints and make a really killer meal at home still. I think that that level of educating the public about fitness and about movement is really missing. Sure, there is some fitness educational content out there, but most of what's out there is really just educational content geared towards selling you something, selling someone's program, selling a specific product. I think that this can be completely disrupted and we can get so much better with this in the industry. I see the studio as a little bit of my developmental lab, that yes, I'm running a fitness studio, I'm training people, I'm developing this system of classes, but where I really am headed towards this is testing things out in this flagship space to then go on to create more and more media, programming, digital content that can educate people about moving their bodies, that this can be so much more than just a class, that this can be media that really speaks to people's desires to want to know more about this. They want to know what they should be doing. They want to know how they should be doing. They want to know about the history of this. I'm always amazed at how often people want to know the history of Pilates and are really truly, genuinely fascinated by it. I think that this is a really untapped market. And that's something that I am wanting to build up with this studio. This is the first step. This is some testing ground to see if my ideas are working. And so far, I've been really amazed and really pleased with how much people are responding to these classes, how much they truly want to learn more about their bodies to get more out of their lives. That's the next stage in this project, is not just expanding my studio, expanding my offerings, which of course I want to do, but it's also then taking that to the next level and seeing how can I translate this into products and media that speak to the enjoyment of movement versus movement as a way to look a certain way. So that's my studio. That's where I am taking my business